Fran, new this evening, News4JAX is being allowed onto St. Simon's Island, still under curfew. So far, no one has been allowed back to the island.
Crews have been on the island assessing the damage, making sure it was safe before anyone made the journey back. But Channel 4's Bakari Savage is there tonight, joined by a resident who's waiting out the storm on the island. Bakari?
Yeah, we're going to get to him in a little bit, but I want to tell you something. So we're in the village part of St. Simon's just before you get to the pier. You know, the only people who are here are those who did not evacuate and essential personnel because they are trying to make this place safe again. Of course, you still have the storefronts that are boarded, but there are lots of down trees, lots of down power lines as well. You know, yesterday when we were driving through here on our tour, there was a small explosion, lots of sparks from some of those down power lines, and that's just part of the damage left behind by Matthew. The wrath of Matthew felt by the barrier islands in Georgia, shielding the Category 2 winds from the mainland, but catching boaters like Casey Smith.
Matthew is packing a punch.
That's his sailboat washed ashore in Wausau Sound by Hurricane Matthew.
I don't know if you all can hear it out there, what it sounds like up above, but it is as mean as it gets.
And that's exactly what we saw from the air.
Matthew had the potential to completely wipe out the barrier islands, but from what we've been able to see, there's only been just a little bit of beach erosion and some down trees. Other than that, looks like things have held up pretty well.
Again, that's considering these islands could have been wiped away. As we continue flying along the coast of southeast Georgia, you can see the effects of the storm surge. More beach erosion, fallen trees, ripped shingles, and even worse, homes befallen by Matthew's wind with trees smashed into them. And that boater, Casey Smith, he was rescued on Saturday by our pilot with the Coast Guard. I'm told that he is doing okay. So right now, again, we're back here, St. Simon's Island. I'm joined by John Bostic on my right, your left, and Commissioner Dale Provenzano on my left. We're going to get to Commissioner in a moment. But we first talked to you, John, you know, at the beginning of this, when we first got here, you said that you were going to ride out the storm.
Absolutely.
I didn't quite believe it. You kept in touch with us. You even sent us the photos. Tell me, what was that like, and are you going to do something like that again?
It all depends. You know, I was waiting until Friday morning, kind of to see what was going on. Usually they jump and follow the Gulf Stream up. I saw that happening in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, and then it continued the way that it did. Then it moved east Thursday night, Friday night, and I just, you know, I was like, well, you know, I might as well stay now. No, there's no major damage on my house.
But were you ever afraid at any point?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit, of course. You know, the wind was blowing like it was. The trees were blowing around, and but it really wasn't that intense. I would say the gusts were 40, 50, maybe 60 miles an hour at tops.
Well, I'm glad. We're all glad that you're okay, and thank you very much for taking those pictures. Don't go away. You know, Commissioner, we were talking about this. You know, we have great people like John who stayed behind, and you know, you talked about that emotional tie here. My Aunt Eloise and my late Uncle Buddy, they love this place, and you know that hit home with that emotional tie. And you said it was so difficult for people like you and others to leave. Why do people need to really heed this advice the next time one of these storms come?
Oh, because we don't know. We never know what the storms are going to do. We got lucky this time. The next time we may not. And I'm not sure that I'd want to gamble with my life. Had that storm, you know, come 40 miles further west, we wouldn't be standing here right now.
Okay, and Commissioner, you know, a big question that people have, when are Islanders going to be able to come back home?
Well, we're going to meet in the morning. We're going to try to implement what we call a phase 2, either tomorrow or early Tuesday morning. Phase 2 is going to let the business owners come back in so they can kind of rebuild. We want to get this down and get open for this weekend, and I think we will. That's not going to be a problem. It all depends on our power crews. These guys have done an amazing job. You were here. You saw how bad it looked the other day. In 2 days, between our power crews and our tree cutting crews, the island's clean.
All right, and that's what we'd like to hear. Commissioner,
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much, and continue your hard work. Of course, we will keep you updated on air and online at news4jax.com. Reporting live in St. Simon's Island, I'm Bakari Savage, Channel 4, the local station.